All right. We are going to be starting our Wings of V any percent new game plus mortal run by Relptica with Hawk Sam on commentary. How's it going?
Yeah, going pretty well. Hope the Pipistrello was pretty fun.
Hello.
You got
it's
my screenshot, son?
Doesn't want to load up, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I restart very quick.
Okay.
Good old Discord.
Classic shenanigans, yeah. Yep, there we go. I see it now.
Okay. Do we have like a winner on the incentive or what it was? The bid war?
Let's see.
Yep. We can do
Oh, we have $6 from Julie saying Bnui with $6 to Bunny. I do believe that ties it though between Boshi and Bunny. So I don't know if you just want to choose or
maybe chat can pick. I can just like, show off both Boshi and Bunny if I prefer.
Coin flip.
I don't know. The chat maybe wants.
But the Bashi one is gonna give me a nightmare.
Could also use the Boshi one, just like.
And we have $1 from Anonymous going to Boshi.
Okay.
Oh no.
I was gonna say
Boshi, yeah,
legacy.
Boshi was the winner.
Alright,
It's Bashi time.
Gonna hear that?
Alright, well,
alright.
Well,
let's get into it.
good luck with the run whenever you're ready.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start us up then. Okay, it's Boshi time, yep. So, Wings of Y, any percent new game plus mortal. Might be wondering why the hell all those words. Mortal is just normal difficulty for this game, out of the three. And it's usually in New Game Plus, it's just kind of like the default category everyone plays. Which is kind of fun because you get the extra weapons that you have to unlock in the game. You can get both like from the start then. Okay, failed that easy jump. Okay, nice. So it's kind of more interesting of a run of just like general strategy in terms of what weapons you pick and where. The main ones you'll be seeing are the default one. Wait, I can show it off if I get it here. Here the default one, the slightly faster default one, this AoE one, and the slow damage one, and one like long ranged one. I'll be cycling through those like quite a bit. For the most part, it'd be mostly just this AoE one. So early game is not that thrilling, mostly just kind of walking through a lot of combat. And in particularly these like teleporting enemies are like really annoying, can like really mess you up if you're not paying attention. Or even if you're paying attention because they just decide to go somewhere where you can't like kill them. That's not. We drag this guy around here so I can get like a nice damage boost, save us a bit of time. This guy fortunately doesn't do anything too much. Here's these portals, you gotta kill all the enemies inside. This one's not particularly thrilling start of the game. Just kinda gotta hope that this teleport guy doesn't mess you up. A bit of an annoying one. Fine. So now you get your very first power up already, which is the flutter, which is like a slow-ish jump. Just kinda like stalling the air for a bit. I need to go to the long range one here. And in general, this game also has a lot of cycles. I don't know if I call them global cycles, more like regional cycles or something. There's always a cycle pretty much going when you're playing. Back off. Like this hand here. A bit too slow for here. Did you want to say something?
It's quite fun with how fast you get all the power-ups already in the early game, so you get most of your kits like first 6 minutes of the run, and then you can just start zooming.
Yeah, that's like a pretty big part of what I think is fun. On this portal you can drag these two and then like re-enter, so this first wave spawns again, so you can get a bit faster. Because the later wave is really annoying. For the most part you can like damage tank a lot in this run in general. Yeah, my god. Was it like that?
Maybe a little bit too much damage tanking, but yes.
Yeah. Little much.
Get the early deaths out of the way first, so no other ones pop up later in the run.
Yeah, now I can like really tank because now I also have more HP than on the first end, but damage boosts get faster. Yeah, sure.
Do we have time for a quick announcement?
Sure.
We just opened up a new incentive for Ori and the Blind Forest DE Waterfall Run. If met, instead of heading out to Ginzo Tree after obtaining Bash, 2Kill will continue upwards to the Ginzo Escape, one of the most memorable sequences of the game. And that will have to reach $50 to be done. And that will be the next run, and that will close, I believe, 10 minutes into that run. So a bit over an hour to reach that incentive. So get your donations in if you want to try to make that happen.
Okay. Doing that, I did the first like pretty easy boss that you can counter. You counter again later on. I skipped the cutscene already, so I can't skip it now. Okay. It's like a fun quirk, I guess, in the game where like you try to skip a cutscene too early, you just kind of like get locked into having to pass through it instead of skipping it. But like her biggest deal is that she just has like a shield at all times. Except for like specific downtimes, they can do your damage, so they kind of raid around a bunch on that fight. Make it a little boring, but you know.
Just hope for the faster RNG attacks to get over it with it faster.
Yeah.
And after doing that boss, you get yourself the new moment ability, just sliding all over the place now. Really speeds up the whole platforming.
Yeah, the fastest way to move generally. Match pressed one too many there. Fine, quick death. Let's go. So we got the next boss coming up, which is also not too particularly difficult, but he's quite annoying sometimes with some of the patterns he does, where some of them will be over like in a few seconds, some of them more annoying. They're kind of like really tied to the RNG of the jewels.
He did like 3 moves or so, right? So it's basically 33% to get the fast attack or not?
Yeah, he has like, I think 4 or 5, but usually the starting moves are like maybe 3. I got all 4 bars of damage. This one you usually don't want to see. I get like a quick kill here, but usually doesn't happen. Annoying enrages this percentage. And now because I got a bit of an annoying pattern, kind of slip through. Usually you want to kill them on the enrage. Here you got upcoming one of the like bigger skips, because it skips like a whole auto-sweater section. But this is also one of the weirder ones, because you need to switch to a save file that already has the double jump, which we'll be getting in a moment. So you can double jump on reload. There's like 2 ways you can do this skip. You want to make sure to not go too high. Yeah, like this. So you have your buddy Ruby on you, and from the auto-scroller section you can kind of like fly around, so you're just kind of like free to move however you want now with your pile Ruby still on the back. Dog slowing you down, which is the next ability. Oh, got the apple. Small time loss, you know. Gotta stay well nourished. We take this checkpoint here to save some backtracking. You also need to get rid of Ruby to be able to change rooms. Nice guy with Stark. Get a double jump. And then we just death warp all the way back. And in this segment you also want to avoid taking the checkpoints as much as possible, so after the next boss you'll be able to warp back as by retrying. Just a bit of light platforming. That one's been hitting me a lot lately. 35 damage is no big deal. So this guy is honestly not that thrilling. You mainly just don't want to see him do this move. It takes a while. You have to damage him during it. Fight from that, nothing's pretty exciting here. Oh, this guy gives you the very important ranged attack. He goes high. Okay. Kinda cancelled it a bit early to do his enrage. A bit weird, you know. So now he does his enrage attack, which always plays out the same. Just gotta wait a little bit. Fortunately, no like skip for this. I like some of the other bosses coming up. Enough HP to tank one more. Yeah, pretty easy fight generally. And now we get coming up the most annoying segment of the game. One of the
actually getting phone calls. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so
basically, you got most of your kit now. By this point, there's a couple more unlocks coming up later, but those don't really play that big of a part throughout the majority of the game.
yeah, this is like your foundational movement. The others, it's kind of like abilities you pick up and use.
So yeah, by this point, we got the double jump, the flutter ability, and the ranged projectiles that you can shoot. They don't do a lot of damage, but they can be useful here and there, especially for little puzzle sequences coming up later.
Yeah, and with the range attack, you always want to make sure to like always have one regenerating if you're like fighting something. So don't like miss out damage. Gonna have to log in a bit for this checkpoint now coming up.
There's gonna be a bit of a damage skip that we can do. And also a little photo sensitivity warning later on that I will mention just in case. Some flashing screens. So we are gonna be using one of these bugs to help us out. Over here, get hit once, get us a little bit more hearts, and then we can jump on this higher platform, skip quite a decent chunk of the level. So at least the bugs can also be used for a little bit of assistance instead of them just bullying us over and over again. A little bit damage, not boost, but skip there to deal with the spinners real quick. And the photo sensitivity warning real quick here. What we're trying to do is to re-enter the room over and over again, which deloads the monster, but it does not deload the projectile that the monster is throwing, so...
Yeah,
there we go, nice. Photo sensitivity warning is over, so yeah, you want to have the projectile hit you so you can do another damage boost and skip a decent portion of the area.
yeah, there's some pretty
Next
annoying
boss coming out.
The big thing with Amethyst in the fight is generally just you want to make sure to get your 16 damage per her attack in. She has like a shield that activates every 16 damage. And she like progressively gets faster throughout the fight. That's kind of the gist of it. Like some of her attacks are way more scary later on when she does them, but, you know, for the most part it's pretty straightforward. She also does this attack, which is kind of like the phase transitions, I'd say, which isn't particularly exciting after you've done it, you know.
By the powerful pretty much the master of all elements. You get lightning, you get fire, wind, death rays coming up.
She also got
She really
rocks.
knows her stuff. Earth magic, I suppose you could call that. So master of the elements.
Yeah, and for the last phase here, you kind of gotta be careful about the attack she hasn't used yet. She hasn't used purple balls yet. She's like easy one to take a bunch of damage from. These pretty awkward angles. Usually just like drop a bit of damage here since the damage breakpoints work out in a way you can just be fine, not have to deal with the next attack. And here we walk back for death. now you're down into the mines where a lot of the auto-scrollers are gonna be.
Who doesn't love a good old auto-scroller?
Yeah, a lot of auto-scrollers, or these puzzles with these buttons that you have to hit. One of the lights. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, gotta hit the switches, otherwise the lasers so maintain their position and you can't really get through. So that's what you have the range, the orbs for, basically. The main usage for them.
Annoying at least. Surviving, but you know, fine. Damage boost for here.
A little bit of a damage boost there.
Also, in this segment, you often see like the very kind of strange water physics in this game, where you just jump really high for some reason. Like really
very light angel, so she just floats up into the water immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
Buoyancy.
Hadn't thought of it.
Surely that was the idea behind it.
Pretty sure. And the next screen is like one that's like really kind of infamous for being annoying, but the strat that I do is basically trivial. Because you can just like load all these enemies and insta-kill them by taking the checkpoint.
Because otherwise it's very, you need to be very precise to actually make the time to get past the lasers. Deceptively short window to get through it while getting damaged by the algo enemies.
Yeah, here it's faster to go for a quick detour to get your secret. Okay, coming up we got the Dark Annihilator, that's the name. The guy is a pretty fun fight, I think, but unfortunately for him, he kind of like, he only takes melee damage from the high damage weapon. He wasn't kind of designed around that, so you can like really rush through him, because you do so much more damage than expected. Because you're supposed to only be able to shoot him for damage. And just hit him for a nice like 11 damage with the Wrath weapon here at the time.
Invalidating almost like second phase to him when you get to the very end of the screen on the right side.
Yeah, honestly, the scariest thing about him in the fight is that you don't want to get too close to him and get the hit rate instant kill.
Oh, he's even instant kill he has? Didn't know.
Yeah, if you touch him, just survive.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Well, making quick work out of that and move on to the next little sequence.
Can I get some Hawk Tours and shit for the Hawkeye achievement? Really helps me out.
How about we
Now a
don't do
good
that?
time for some donations?
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
yep.
much.
Alright. We have $25 from Aruba Stevens saying Carrarium. And for anyone that's come into stream recently or that just came in from one of the raids, welcome to Archiethon 6. Like it's been mentioned in chat already, a bunch of Celeste community members running a bunch of stuff that is not vanilla Celeste, and we are raising money for Point of Pride, which is an organization whose mission is to help trans youth and adults access necessary life-saving health and wellness services. Through their work, they have awarded over $4 million across their financial aid programs and have provided support in 127 countries. For more information, please visit pointofpride.org. And also, we have an incentive going on right now, which is going to be ending in about 45 minutes to an hour, which is if we get $50 towards that incentive in the Ori and the Blind Forest run coming up, if this gets met, instead of heading out of Ginzo Tree after obtaining Bash, 2Kill will continue upwards to the Ginzo Escape, one of the most memorable sequences in the game. So if you want to see that happen, make sure to get your donations in.
I'm pretty hyped. Remember that sequence being pretty fun. So should be interesting to see that in a speedrun. Got a bit owned by the auto-scrollers here, you know. It is what it is.
Oshi has a bit of a hard time following you when you're on the car.
Yeah,
He doesn't really know what to do.
just lying a bit about.
Out of sync Bashi, love to see it.
Yeah,
and even if it is an auto-scroller here, it's still relatively hard, so you always gotta be on your toes not to mess things up too much. Since, well, if you lose life, you get sent quite a far way back. Gotta redo the whole thing again.
Especially in a run where like skipping all the checkpoints that are like out of the way. Wow. Okay, that plan had it out for me, holy. I don't remember the last
Just
time
as an example, yeah, like that.
Far, holy.
At least we get to enjoy the awesome music a little bit longer than Grotto tracks. So it's all according to plan.
As upcoming, you got the
at least this
turbine, which isn't
last
the most
auto-scroller into a boss.
Yeah, it's mostly a fight about doing a lot of damage, and honestly, it's mostly it. Make sure to keep 40 HP to be able to damage tank this smaller laser attack. And there's these minecarts here on the left, which you need to interrupt this big laser attack. Obviously a small laser attack here. So we want to make sure to do damage tank. I recognize my shiny banner at some point. Oh, okay. I just apparently cannot platform. That's pretty complete for I guess. Here you can attack his tentacles, but also at the same time you can kind of this invisible wall there, which you can get some damage passed through going up all the way. Yeah, so use the minecarts here to interrupt them, I'll just use all three to get some damage in. You gotta make sure to avoid these because they are like paralyze or sleep you, basically a retry. Yeah, just tank with the lasers he hasn't done yet. Just a bit of damage up. Fine. That's it for this guy. And with this, we'll be going into Hell, fittingly for Archiethon 666. Here's faster to just do a quick save and crit. Let me head back to
thematically very good game for this sort of an event. Got very Halloween-y themes here and there, especially coming up slightly later.
Yeah.
But doesn't love good old demon and flying skeleton monster chasing you.
Yeah. The thing with these skeletons is they always just like kind of charge at you, but a lot of the run you can kind of just like make them go off screen. So in the combat arenas, we just kind of like count as pretty much being dead. There the enemies are a bit annoying, but you know. Okay, they block on both.
Even the black vortexes are basically an insta-kill, yeah, so you really need to be avoiding them at all times. Regardless of what difficulty you're playing, they just gobble you up and it's over.
One of the many insta-kill stuff.
Yeah.
That guy literally just teleported me on that point.
You came a long way to hell, he just wants to greet you properly. He's very hospitable that way.
Very cool. And here you are ported. Damage through. This one's not too interesting. It's kind of like I get the instinct from this guy. And yeah, hoping that the teleport guy is nice to you.
They're very moody that way.
Yeah, but
I
also
don't know if they want to be friendly or not.
Yeah, thankfully they don't show up all that much more. So now we've unlocked basically the dash ability, which you can only use on whenever you pick these up. I think that's relevant is if you like immediately flutter after you use a dash, you can like preserve the momentum combos. But you have to make sure to not be burning when you touch them, because basically can't use them then. Bit ambitious there. So, yeah.
The three enemies are very funny, I'll give them that. This feels like such a random design, but has a little bit of charm to them, even though they're still annoying to deal with.
Yeah, they're like really annoying to like actually kill. They don't wanna take any damage. Just
random walking 3 trunks that are on fire with floppy arms.
Yeah, and here I'm gonna make one of these skeleton guys walk off screen if they cooperate. Just walk off screen so go immediately. So having to kill him and then leave. We've got Predator here, which is honestly not that exciting of a boss. And the main thing to pay attention to is that like you're always using your orbs to do damage, because you can't really damage him. You wanna make sure that you hit him with some rocks here. The most damage, but aside from that, you can just do this fight as intended. So now we go to the vertical section. And after that one, you get another horizontal that goes right to left, and after that, pretty much dead. Now we go to the last section. He's pretty much already dead. Be nice if spawned rocks here, which doesn't matter that much.
Nice.
Yeah, also a pretty alright fight. Lose all that much damage here. So this is a segment where you have to get 3 keys. And Soren had the good idea of making it so the way back is also like an actual challenge. But can just kinda skip the checkpoint there and retry to you don't have to put up with any of the backtracking. For example, here he wants it to go up, and you just take the key, retry, and you're done. Oh, I didn't get it.
Essentially, just skipping 3 big retries then that way.
Yeah. And at the end,
Using the little dash momentum saving there with the flutter. Keeping another small portion. And another key is ours. To just retry and go to the 3rd key. With a lot of dash moment. You can zoom very fast with them. Just gotta be very careful not to randomly touch the vortexes that end your short-lived fun that way.
Honestly, that was also like a big part of why I started playing like 2D platformers on the keyboard. It's like, you need to swap directions.
Yeah, understandable. This is very annoying sequence casually playing. You gotta be very fast in order to outrun the worm.
And dodge that troll spike there at the end.
Yeah, it's one of the rare goofy moments where you just on your first attempt you're not really gonna know what to expect, and you die to a very trolly placed obstacle that sends you all the way back to the big gauntlet.
Here you want to make sure to kill the enemy fast enough so you can leave before the next raid spawns. But on this key you just cannot skip the text for some reason, I don't know why. And here we got the Ancient Construct skip. It's like a whole boss fight, you can just skip with 2 damage boosts. Like this, and you just stop.
Start red skip on an entire boss fight. Such a funny little trigger skip.
Yeah, also the what else you can skip. So here you got another bit of a weird skip coming up. Kinda like messes with the rest of the level layout later. By doing this, there's like less of these like spinning portals that insta-kill you spawning later on. I don't know, they're like tied to a cutscene that I don't pass up. I don't know what the site of. It's going back down. You know,
Barely.
That's a new one, but you know. Oh, now this guy's cycle's also off. Okay, sure.
Very happy to meet you. So basically, you just wanna stay out of his line of sight to avoid his attacks. Now always be away from his yeah, like I said, line of sight.
Yeah, which
not get laser.
Like half your health, and then they paralyze you. So like, yeah, like I don't know, basically that. Pretty lucky to make it out.
Big auto scroller. in case there's any donations, can read quickly through this.
Yeah, we have $6 from Anonymous, putting that towards the waterfall run incentive. We have another $3 from Anonymous doing the same thing. And then we have $5 from Ma going towards the waterfall run incentive, saying Ginzo music good. So yeah, $14 so far down to the incentive. And just a reminder, that will be ending about 10 minutes into that next run. So make sure to get your last $36 in to reach that incentive.
Got a bit reckless. I don't know what's going on. I mean, not as long as that, but you know.
You really gotta be precise here, especially with the little ceiling and ground spike moves that can just gobble you up if you just step into them with your bottom of your foot.
I gotta make sure I hit my estimate time enough. We are ahead on schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. Climbing the good old elevator right here. And it's a very painful sequence, and casual players as well. Remember spending a lot of time here. And at the very end, what is your reward for getting through all these projectiles? A little fighting gauntlet that you still gotta deal with, so... Not only you want to be as healthy as possible through all these projectiles here, you also still need to fight and not get boned by the skeletons coming up.
Yeah, also gonna try to like make them go off screen here again, so leave early. Sometimes, less comfortable.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, apparently I didn't get my flat over. Sure.
Gotta feed the portals as well from time to time, they're hungry.
Yeah,
need their
like
substance.
Big thing in this game is also like, it feels like there's pretty much next to no buffer windows. Like, you should get like caught up by things.
I mean, after we got our rematch with Miyuki, the gimmick here is that if you hit her too much in a quick time, she ends up healing. Which is naturally something you don't want to do, but for speedrunning purposes, it can actually help us out because she also gets staggered occasionally after, I think it was 8 hits, yeah?
Yeah.
And if we line up the healing together with the stagger during one specific move, we end up canceling her Enrage big special attack, where you gotta do a lot of waiting around. She does a lot of like fire balls that rotate around you, and you just gotta sit and wait. So if you do enough healing and you knock her the exact moment when she's about to be casting that special attack, you just ignore it, and you end up saving a lot of time.
Okay, that's cute. I think that should do it. Yeah, nice. That's like a minute or so on time save. She does take quite a while on that damage. You gotta make sure to always knock into the lava, do more damage. Sometimes can be a little awkward. Annoying ball down.
Bye-bye, Miyuki.
This castle done. Nothing too interesting in this particular segment. Platforming.
Best the game is coming up, the puzzle solution.
Yeah, the hardest part, of course. Very difficult to solve the puzzle.
Well, you just, but it did take me a while to actually figure out what I'm doing myself on first playthrough.
That's true too. I here want to make sure to kill like all these enemies faster, so the arena opens faster. And then we gotta input our puzzle solution. Oh, it's fast. Retry, let's backtrack. A bit of an autoscooter coming up once more. At least gives you a bit more to do than the others. You know. I gotta stay out of these spikes.
Doing a bit of a reverse instead of climbing up with an elevator, you're forced to go down here as fast as possible. So they're switching it up at least to try to not have you fall asleep on auto scrollers.
Yeah, like down here at least you got like some interesting stuff you could do. You could like take some other routes, get some more leeway with the levels or something, or not. I hear just shoot these things to make the spikes go up and down.
Yeah, a little new environmental hazard for this area specifically.
Yeah, it doesn't show up a lot more in the run. I think that's actually the only one of them.
Yep, should be.
So here thing is with these enemies, they always jump to your last location, and if they just stay in the air, they just kind of jump into their own death. So that's something you'll see quite a bit, and just kind of jump into nothingness and go rid of them. But quite a bit of HP.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't
Little
really know what
hellhound.
the game design is for that bit of segment. I haven't
Well,
figured the
maybe not
forward.
particularly hellhounds, but yeah. Coming up, boss fights. Normally, you're meant to be juggling both of them in the middle of the arena, but you also have a bit of a safety spot there on the corners. Well, relatively safety, you still gotta be dodging their attacks, so you gotta be careful not to fall down into your doom. And the gimmick for this fight is that you wanna kill them both kinda at the same time, otherwise if you knock one out too early, she's gonna be regenerating her health and then coming back later. So you kinda wanna be juggling their HP pulls. Get the violet one nearly to the very end and then switch to the other orc to dish out the rest of your damage.
A little bit scarred.
And the red one's almost dead, kill the purple one and switch to the other one. That's how it should ideally go, but we're having a bit of a rematch here this time around. Couple of them, hopefully. It's gonna be.
It's easy to kind of take a search 20 or something, where it shouldn't. An extra 20
Yeah,
there,
we-
had to pass through early, and the red didn't get that much damage from the red. Also gotta make sure to not accidentally kill Purple on that bit. But I'm doing the like easier way of doing this quick kill, but also at the same time you gotta be and also careful that you don't do too much damage. Yeah, this should be fine.
There you go. Do you even remember how to do the boss without the little cheese? The natural way?
I think I somewhat recently had to do it because I was missing my save file, so I had to like redo all the flawless kills on the bosses.
Speedrunner straight tonight doing bosses the regular way. As someone pointed it out. But yeah, well done.
Like two very true. So here we got these puzzle blocks. You just kind of like gotta touch them enough times for them to despawn these red. Okay, cannot get this job apparently. Thankfully, only pretty try. The
Couple
second
new
generation
enemies
has
as well, or I guess
hold
just
up.
one. The worm.
Oh, they all stay
You're
away.
gonna learn to love the worms, not casually playing this game, especially on the very last boss. If you know, you know. So gotta get in as much practice on them as possible early on.
Cancel. Okay, nice. Yeah, these rooms are kind of not that thrilling, you know. But sometimes.
They have a neat puzzle element to them at least. On the very first playthrough to figure out how to hit it while still having enough jumps and platforms to keep rotating.
Yeah, casually.
Yeah, once you know the solution, it's just same thing over and over again.
Here we direct the skeleton guy once more off the screen early. oil them. And here you got a couple auto scrollers too, if there's maybe some donations or something. There's not a lot going on with these block snakes.
Hello, the brown, yellow brick snake. I don't know how to even call it.
Yeah, I think everyone just calls it block snake from Mario, you know.
Like
quite match.
very classic puzzle, not puzzle, but platform game element. Yeah, very often we get to see these being used in games. Couple that together with the puzzle block that you gotta touch multiple times, and you get yourself a decent challenge as well.
It has a bit of Mario Maker level energy.
True, true.
So here you get the demon form, which is on the same button as the flutter, which can be kinda annoying sometimes.
You basically go into a little flying mode that acts as a Celeste feather, you could say. It's only for a limited amount of time, so you still gotta make sure you collect these little red energy thingies coming from the ground to extend your flying meter. And the moment can be a little bit annoying to squeeze through some of these precise parts, so gotta keep yourself
yeah, another
keep yourself
hardware
on
I'm
toes.
glad that I stopped the keyboard.
Yeah.
And here we make this guy jump step once more.
Bye-bye, goat enemy. Coming up, next boss. Couple of things to worry about here. Mainly not to damage her too much, because she's gonna be putting up a shield, which is just gonna prevent you from doing any damage. So you need to dish out your damage somewhat appropriately, not to trigger that. Also, there's gonna be these spikes hovering around you, like now. You activate them yourself by hitting the attack button, but you need to make sure you're flying into the little safety gap in between. Also, the little green frowning faces on the top of the screen. I wish they were orange to fit more in the Halloween aesthetics, but might as well call them jack-o'-lanterns. You wanna hit them, so they fly down to the bottom of the screen, and that is gonna raise the bone platform, so you have something to stand on. And yeah, you get yourself some spooky, scaly hands wanting to grab you. One's moving horizontally from side to side, and then you get some extra spawns that try to reach out from the big portal. Those you can actually kill yourself, so they don't get too large and get in the way, but speedrunning wise, it's just better to focus more on the boss. Unless you are in desperate need of some space.
Yeah, the thing also for the can sometimes just like block your shots from hitting you. That was a pretty good resolution.
Well done.
Yeah, now coming up pretty much is mostly just like the last two bosses. Bit of like platforming into there. Here we got an amethyst making us some platforms. He like tends to take her time.
Final couple of rooms before you get smushed by the big two last bosses.
Yeah, last boss, it's always gonna be a pretty big hurdle, easy to like die a bunch on that one. The other one.
Before we get to those last bosses, do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we have $15 from Amber Loves Archie putting it towards the waterfall run, saying, "Good luck finishing out the Relp run. The run, Relp. I love Archie."
Thank you, Amber.
And with that, we are just $21 away from the waterfall run incentive. So get your donations in for that. It's going to be ending here within the next 30 minutes. Good luck finishing out the run.
Get your donations in, indeed. Second last boss of the run. Main thing you want to worry about is the yellow bar. So you shoot away the skull that is gonna be following you here and there, so you don't feel the yellow bar. And second main thing is how you damage the boss. He's shooting these spikes, and then you can shoot them right back at you. You can shoot the spikes right back at him, but you gotta be quite precise with how you interact with them in order to hit the spikes in the boss's head, because that's when he's gonna be taking the most amount of damage for faster clears. And he also summons these yellow brain lookalike things, eyeballs, that aren't really that deadly, but on normal runs they are gonna be a little bit annoying as well if the yellow bar full fills, but not much to worry about. And this boss also dies if you just reduce 90% of his HP bar. The last bar kinda is just irrelevant. Well done.
Yeah, this time boss coming up. This room always takes a while because girlies take their sweet time getting up.
Yeah, even though we got through a somewhat difficult fight, there's not a lot of room to rest. As Rel said, last boss coming up in just a moment, a lot to get over with. Well, mainly you want to be avoiding the boss's contract damage as one of the main threats. And that is actually pretty hard to do with how jiggly the little snake man is. He can clip you quite easily with a tail. Thing to worry about is also a little ice sequence. You need to make sure to dash out of the way as he is about to land, to slow him down on the ice block a little bit, get a lot of decent damage off. That's gonna be happening another time. He's got lasers, he's got meteorites, he's got a scream attack that he is doing now. You gotta make sure you hug your angel friend, otherwise he's gonna be obliterating you. Another thing about this boss,
which is kinda annoying. Can't really do that much damage during it.
Yeah, decent amount of RNG as well, but where he does his scream attacks and where he moves. Another ice block move. Very important gimmick here is also that you are being poisoned throughout the whole fight, so if you don't collect the green orbs that your green friend spawns, you're just basically gonna be dying eventually if you take no damage from the boss itself, so you gotta keep that in mind. And now that the boss is in his enrage phase, when he is doing his slam attacks, he's also spawning warm bodies to help him out, so you really gotta keep in mind that and obliterate worms as fast as possible, otherwise you just lose control. Another little attack he has, one less attack but a constant threat, is the pentagrams in the background. You can't stand too close to them for too long, otherwise you get damaged as well. And last couple of hits here should do it as long as nothing goes wrong, and that is gonna be the end then, hopefully. Unless nothing horrible happens. And then that's the end of the run.
Yeah. That's Wings of Eye.
GG. Well done.
It's Bashi time indeed. There are not a signs. Submit your results to the leaderboard that's offline.
GG's.
Yeah.
Do either of you have any shoutouts?
Shout out to the Wings of Eye speedrun Discord. Always very helpful when you have like some random questions and a couple people that actually have run this game do still reply.
Shoutouts as well to all the people involved in Archiethon, of course. Everyone behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, in between the scenes, absolutely everyone.
Yeah. That's gonna be it from us, I guess.
Alright, well, nicely done. GG's again. That was an awesome run. Right, and we have our next run coming up here shortly. Ori and the Blind Forest DE, all skills by 2kill. And a reminder for that run, we do have that incentive happening. Oh my gosh, I've been reading it as waterfall. It's waterful. I'm so smart. There's $21 left to that incentive, and that's going to be ending about 10 minutes into that run. So make sure to get your donations in for that. Right, I do believe I will be hopping off as host and handing it over to Cactus. Thank you for having me on, and good luck to all the runners.
Thank you so much for that, Nene. Hello, everyone. I'm Cactus, and I'll be your host for the next couple of runs we got going on here. So yeah, thank you all for joining Archiethon so far. Hope you've all been having a good Friday so far. The very first thing that I do want to shout out while we get in here is that coming up in the Ori run right now, we are going to have an incentive that needs to be met about 10 minutes into that run, and that is if the target is met, instead of heading out of Ginso Tree after obtaining the bash, 2kill is going to continue upwards to do the Ginso escape, which is one of the most memorable sequences in the game. I was having a bit of a chat with them before we went live with this, and I was saying I haven't finished Ori. That escape sequence is one of the things that I think I ended up giving up on the game and not quite getting through, so I'll be really looking forward to seeing that met in the speedrun context. So yeah, if everyone wants to get those donations in this intermission before that run starts, it'll be like super awesome if we could see 2kill showcase that in the Ori run. But yeah, thanks very much everyone. I hope you're having a good Archiethon so far. Just as a bit of a reminder for anyone who's joining us now, this Archiethon we are supporting Point of Pride, and they are an organization whose mission is to help trans youth and adults access necessary life-saving health and wellness services that they need. Through their work, they've awarded over $4 million across their financial aid programs to trans people in need, and they've provided support in 127 different countries. So yeah, really awesome work that Point of Pride's doing, and I'm really grateful that we're able to help support them on this Archiethon. Do check out their website, pointofpride.org, to learn a bit more about the cool stuff that they're doing. Thanks again so much for all the donations that have come through so far. It's really great. We've managed to get $162 across these first couple of runs as we're going. So yeah, keep that energy up. Thank you so much, everyone. But yeah, it's great. Hope you're all having a good Archiethon, and we'll be getting into the Ori and the Blind Forest DE All Skills speedrun. That is a bit of a tongue twister to say all at once, I must admit. I've just seen now as well, we have got an $11 anonymous donation that's just come through, and that is to fund towards the Waterfall Run bid. So we're at 40 out of $50 for that now, just $10 away from being able to get that seen. So yeah, thank you all so much. As you can see across the bottom there, the little candle progress bar is filling up as we're getting closer to the end. It'd be super sick if we could see that met. Taking a little look at the schedule we've got ahead of us. So we have got Ori and the Blind Forest up next, as I've just mentioned. After that, we're going to have a Haste All Bosses co-op run by Isaac and Fletcher's a Furry. Really looking forward to that. Following on from that, we have Might and Magic 7 Any Percent NMG by Xenoras. And then after that, the Elephant Collection AU Trifecta 100% by Vapo. So they're the next couple of runs that I'll be being your host for. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the runners and commentators are able to showcase for us for those. So yeah, thank you for tuning in so far, for all of the chats, for all of the donations coming through. Really appreciate the support. And yeah, please do stick around to see some of the cool stuff that we're going to be showcasing over the next few hours. I'm really excited for this next block of runs that I'm commentating and hosting for.